tonight's main event.
Where's the Friday?
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious...
On this blessed Friday, let us give thanks.
So, another Friday is upon us.
WTF, where's the Friday? I'm Rob Birdsey, how you doing? Guys, I have a couple of quick messages before we get into the interview. I am on YouTube right now, so if you guys want to jump across there, the channel's called Widowed, Trio, and Freedom. Widowed is in I am a widowed man. Trio is in I have two little boys, so we make a trio. And I'm on here to do this for YouTube, so hopefully equal freedom for us. So Widowed, Trio, and Freedom. Go check that out. If you don't mind, please like, share, and subscribe, all that jazz. And if you have any opinions on anything, just fill it out, write it out, let us know, because that's how I grow, and it helps my channel, and also it gets your word out there. And I'm sure that anyone that I've had on the podcast, I can always reach out to them to answer any questions if you have any. But today I have Daylani, right? Daylani. How do you say your last name?
Ballena.
Ballena. Oh my goodness, my mind just went sideways. Daylani Ballena, you're awesome. I've seen you on court and you play, this is your 5th year, you're an absolute killer. I was expecting someone to come in here, just be like charging, ready to, yeah, but you're so awesome to talk with, very approachable, and on court watching you work, you're so fun. You rally the troops like there is no tomorrow. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Yeah.
Thank you for having me, first of all.
Oh yeah, no, thanks for coming in. I so appreciate this. How's the start of the school semester so far for you?
Yeah, so I'm an engineering technology major. So
Wow.
normally my class schedule is pretty hectic, but since this is my last year, it's hasn't been too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've done all the hard stuff. You've maybe got one hard class and then the rest of kind of cake, or what?
Yeah, something like that. It is still a little bit of syllabus, going over the beginning of class. So I don't want to speak too soon, but right now it's been pretty slow, which is nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I feel from the last few semesters to this one, I've kind of cut things to make it make sense for me, because I'm doing kids and everything else too, So I try to do my best to not kill myself. I mean, my advisor's like, yeah, just do 18 credits. I'm like, dude, I don't want to do 18 credits.
Right. No,
Like,
I get that.
I got to do stuff, Plus I go home every day, and I don't live off a whole lot of money, so I'm always cooking meals, and to get good nutrition, you got to make your own meals, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun to make your own food, isn't
I
it?
like it. No, I feel better for it. Every time we have money, we go eat out. Afterwards, we're all like,
Right, you feel awful after. I get that.
Yeah, that's just such a thing these days. So you grew up in Kent, Washington. I've spent a little bit of time up that way. I think it's a very pretty place,
Yeah.
and there's so much to do around there. There's coffee shop on every corner.
Yeah, that's Seattle for you.
Yeah, Seattle's pretty cool. What was it like? Did you grow up there all your whole life? Yeah.
No, so I was born in Seattle. My parents moved out to Kent. My mom lives in Kent. My dad lives in Renton, Washington. I went to Kent Ridge High School. Went to small school in Kent. So was born and raised there. My mom just recently moved to Puyallup. It's a little bit more south of Seattle. But yeah, that's always going to be home. My grandmother lives there now. So I love Kent. I could see myself moving back there after I graduate. So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, that harbor there is gorgeous, hey?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's beautiful in Seattle. I mean, nothing like Sydney, Australia, but it's beautiful. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've traveled a lot too. Sydney. I think Sydney's the prettiest city in the world.
Really? You
Dude,
think so?
especially in the nighttime on the water. If you're looking from the north side, looking across the bay into Sydney itself, is phenomenal.
What do they call that structure? It's the Opera House.
Oh, the
right?
Opera House, yeah.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
I saw that close up, and it's actually, so different from seeing it in pictures.
It's interesting, huh?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
They, I don't know if it's still doing it, but apparently it was sinking a little bit every year.
Sinking.
Yeah, it's because it's like a little island type thing. So they're
Is
forever doing work to try and keep it going.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like everyone should be able to see that.
Did you guys go inside of that at all?
No.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
We got kind of like a ferry
Uh-huh.
to go across the island, and we just passed by it a couple
Yeah, yeah.
times. But yeah, it was
So you
pretty-
come out of Circular Quay where the ferries are.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, it was so cool. It was way faster than I thought.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if you've been on a ferry in Seattle, but you can't feel it move.
Yeah.
The
Oh no,
ferry
our
that
ones
one.
they book.
Oh, they're
Yeah, they had.
it's like a wave boat. I was like, what is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, they have hydrofoils and everything. I remember
Oh, yeah.
it was like late 90s, they were updating all of that just to make things faster.
Right.
So there could be more. I mean, I suppose everywhere in the world, except for America, is more public transport,
Yeah.
make it cheaper for people.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I wish America would do that. Huh?
Move the well, it's such a big place. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right.
I mean, when you look at it, Australia is the same as continental USA, right?
Mm-hmm.
But everybody lives on the outskirts, and the population of Australia could fit in like LA.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is
that is so
crazy to
true.
think about.
Yeah, I mean, even just Kent itself is. I mean, my graduating class was probably over 1,000. So
Wow.
yeah, there is a ton of kids at my school. I can't imagine how many people live in Kent now.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So what was it like growing up with your mum and dad?
Yeah, I was. My parents aren't together, but I am really close to them, and they're also really close as well. They've known each other since they were like in middle school. So.
Do you say they're still together or not?
No, they're not together,
Okay.
but they're like best friends.
But they're awesome.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Man, much respect for people that can do
Yeah.
that. That is so hard. Like
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I always said to my wife that if she ever wanted to leave me, I would never be a butt. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
right.
I mean, you have to have respect. I don't understand when people they fight like cats and dogs. It's like,
Yeah.
man, you guys were in love at one point. You guys have shared so many crazy emotions with each other, and now you just want to fight about it and
Right,
teach your
yeah.
kids how to fight. Come
Right.
on.
And I'm so blessed to have the parents that I have. They're
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, I'm so close with both of them. My mom comes down all the time, and hopefully I can get my dad to come down this year for my last year.
Shout out to mum and dad. Dad, you need to get down here.
Yeah, Dad has
it's
to.
so fun to see your daughter play. I can't even.
Yeah, thank you. Call him out. So he
Yeah,
can come
I am
down
totally calling you. What's his name?
here. Joby.
Joby. Come on,
Yeah.
Joby. You got to get down here.
Right.
Come down. I want to meet you. We all want to meet you. Come and watch your daughter play.
Mm-hmm.
She lights it up like there's no tomorrow.
You heard him.
Yeah, I've seen you like, especially if you're off the court or whatever. If you've had a break and the court, and they kind of going a little bit backwards, you get out there and it's like within 2 seconds of you being on that court, it's like a switch has been flicked and it's game on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
no. I tell my teammates I'm really competitive, and I love every single one of them to death.
yeah.
Whatever happens on the court stays on the court, and they understand that. And I'm just glad they know me, and they know I don't mean anything with malicious intent.
I
So,
love that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
What stays in the court? Yeah, yeah. Leave it there.
Leave it there.
Leave it
yeah.
all out there. That's good. That's a that's a work ethic that most people have a hard time finding, and probably in their whole lifetime they won't be able to dig that out. you
Yeah,
know, unless
oh,
you're
yeah.
really going for hard things, shooting for the moon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. I mean,
Land
thanks to
amongst
my
the stars.
parents. Thanks to
Yeah.
my parents.
Is that okay? So let's talk about that. Like,
yeah.
where did that come from, and at what age were you when you realized, I really want this? It's like a burn, because it's like a fire inside of you. Hey, so it's like you even if you never I've never prayed much when I was growing up, but when it come to things that I really wanted, man, did I pray? I prayed so much. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
please, 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 I need all the help I can get.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, my mom is one of the strongest people I know. I mean, both my parents raised me, but my mom is truly my role model.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to say, the things she's done, but my mom is in grad school right now. I have 2 stepbrothers. She's juggling a ton of stuff with work. She just got remarried, and she's amazing. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have a role model like that. It means a lot. I mean, especially when it's your mom. And then my dad. He put a basketball in my crib when I was born. So it was like...
Love that, man.
Yeah, it was basketball from the jump.
Oh, that's
and I'm not
perfect.
mad at him for it. I mean, it took me to where I was today. And I think my mom for the discipline on the school end and the life end, and my dad on the basketball end. And basketball has just made me who I am.
Yeah.
Even having Tracy as a role model as well has made me into who I am. And I
Yeah.
just think, without them, I don't know where I'd be. Like,
Yeah, key
truthfully.
role models, hey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. But when you come down, I mean, it's easy to broad brush it, right? I kind of want to get to at the point where you made that decision. You
Where
know
I was like
where-
basketball?
You mean when you're I mean, even anything really. It could be anything that it's influenced you along the ways. Have you ever found? Did you do any other sports growing up?
Yeah, I played softball.
Okay.
That was actually, I mean, it wasn't my first sport, but I was like pretty half and half for a second with softball and basketball. Around 12 was when basketball kind of gets serious and softball as well. And my parents were like, "You're choosing." So
One
I
or
was
the
like,
other.
"I don't want to play outside, so I'm gonna play basketball." But I'd say like maybe around 6 or 7, I was put like on a little league, and I was like, I want to play basketball, and
dominate.
I want to go to college for it. I've never been the person who wanted to go pro, but I did know that I wanted an education more than anything, and to get it for free would be even cooler. Because I know, I'm not saying my parents aren't, they're struggling or anything, but to repay them, I could get a scholarship, and they'd have to just sit back, and I could take care of them one day, and that's all I ever wanted. And now I'm finally doing it, so yeah, that's
love
when it all
that.
started. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's funny. Most people don't, like at the age of 6, right?
Yeah.
I had when I was a kid, I would think I was like 3 or 4 years old. I would sit in front of the TV and watch car racing. I love cars.
Yeah.
I mean, I not so much I love cars. I don't know every model of car. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
But you put me behind the wheel of a car that can do something, I'm going to show you something fun.
Oh, I feel that. I know. I totally understand that.
Yeah. And I think I went to my mum at around 7 years old, and I just said, just buy me a go-kart. Do me a favor, buy me a go-kart. I want to race. You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
God, really?
Yeah, they come back with a pedal car. I was like, man, you guys suck. But my parents had their issues anyway. You know what I mean? They were hard. They were in and out of life, and it was always, the perpetuation of those guys. They were massive gamblers, and they everything was involved in it, alcohol on the side or whatever the case was.
Right, yeah.
So it was never a guided, hey, do this. It was me wanting to do something, and then they would go, there's the money, go.
Yeah.
And then I had no support, and I had no nothing. And now, like, I look at me with my boys, and I've got them going in everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that was the missing factor.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
you're breaking generational curses, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh man,
Yeah.
it's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
It's so hard, I bet, but
so
your
blessed.
generation is
Yeah.
changing it, and then we're gonna change it, and then the next generation is gonna change it. And It's
Yeah.
gonna be.
Yeah, I think
Everyone's
I
gonna be
think I
great.
can turn my family around. I think it's going to be really good. My boys, and it's like full of love.
Yeah, it
You know
can't
what I
be
mean?
easy, but you're doing it, right? You're
No,
doing
it's not. But it's so rewarding. Like it's me. And you've met my boys. You know
Yeah,
what they're
they're
like.
awesome. I love them.
They're so fun, aren't they? With their
Yeah.
little haircuts.
Yeah, they're so cute. They're awesome.
Yeah, it's fun to see the difference, you know, what I mean? And that's what makes the difference, to be able to have that support around you as you're in a state of growing and trying to work out. Like my eldest, he's like, oh, I want to be a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do it, man. From here on out, by the time you're 18, you just stay with it. You're going to be black
Right.
belt, no worries.
Yeah.
And he's already climbing. He's gray belt, and he's killing it, you know.
That's amazing. I've always wanted to try karate, so.
Yeah.
Or jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu is
Yeah.
amazing. Jiu-jitsu is the one that if you're ever in any trouble whatsoever and someone's laying hands on you, that's when you can turn their hands into choking weapons. You know what I mean? Like it's fighting up close, and it teaches you a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm a huge advocate for it, especially if you had trauma. Like my oldest went for more trauma, and if anyone's listened to my videos, sorry, I'm saying it again, but it changed him. Yeah. I think it was he was turning 5, and he was starting to just be, hate life. I tried to go back to work, so then I put him in daycare, and then this kid started beating up on him and all sorts of things. So then he started revolting. You know what I mean? He's just really coming at me with all sorts of stuff, and then I was like, hang on a minute, I'm not doing this right.
Yeah.
I stopped work because I still have my little guy, and I was like, I don't want my kids raised by anyone else. So I stopped work, lived off nothing. Yeah, we live in an RV. It's like bare. I'm in the foundation stage. You know what I mean of growing again.
Wow.
So and yeah, it's an amazing. It sucks.
Yeah.
Like it totally sucks. But I'm doing it. You know what I mean?
You did what you had to do.
I have
and you
no
got it done.
support. I have no family here. My family's in Australia. They do support when they can. Like they came over and we did a bit of a road trip with them, which was awesome. My sons still talk about it this day, which was so cool. And that was my uncle and aunt. My stepfather came out with them and all that. It was great. But on the other side, like my wife's family, they're MIA. I mean, they talk with the boys, and that's the in-laws, and then that's about it. Everything else with that family is completely cut off from me anyway. I let them see the boys as much as possible, but I don't have no help from those people at all.
Oh, wow.
And I'm cool with that. And I actually think it's a blessing. You know, I really do. So to come through all of that, and it's like a mad pressure cooker, and now I finally have the gift of breath and waking up out of my depression and things to come to school and start rebuilding my life is pretty unique. You know what I mean?
Sounds like you're just really grateful for it.
Well, I'm so grateful for
That's
it.
amazing.
It's yeah. I hope I don't come across as I'm bitter because I'm not.
No,
I
you
think
seem
it-
extremely. I mean, most people would hang their heads and just give
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like being grateful is one of the most important things
Yeah.
you can do. To keep going.
No, so going through that, it's like seeing my son. He was all over the place with it, and I started reading some things on how I can get him help, and then I stumbled across an article, and it had mentioned the benefits of jiu-jitsu, and I've already been thinking about putting him into jiu-jitsu. I did a bit of fighting back home, and I grew up boxing and stuff like that, and I thought that was great. But I know, you watch everyone now, jiu-jitsu is the one that's going to do the job.
Yeah,
And
right.
I thought, you know what, let's check it out. And so I looked into it, and then therapy with jiu-jitsu is a whole new ball game. So I had him in therapy, but I only took him so far, and then I put him in jiu-jitsu, and then it sort of amalgamated everything together. And he just mellowed right out, and he started getting it. For the first 3 months, he hated it. He didn't want to go there, cried every day, and then now he lives for the chance to roll with people and test their abilities.
Yeah.
And test
No,
his.
you'd be surprised what sports and extracurriculars can do for somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can really change someone's life. And I'm a strong believer in putting your kids in sports.
Yeah.
Not just for the sport or getting to yell at your kid, but, just meeting new people. I mean, without basketball, I just don't think I'd have the opportunities that I have, and I just don't know if I'd be able to talk to people as well. So, I'm just so grateful.
No,
to do that.
absolutely. And you talk very well too, actually.
Thank you.
So you're in engineering.
Yes.
What do you want to do out of that?
Yeah, it's all up in the air. I thought I was so sure, and then your senior year hits, and you're like, what? I don't even know what I'm going to do. But I'm looking at a few options. I was leaning towards more planes. I'm in engineering technology, which is more like CAD, CAM, computer-based, software-based. My stepfather works for Boeing in Seattle. It's an airplane company.
Yeah, I know. Boeing's up there. It's huge.
They were under fire a little bit this year, last year, I guess. But I was thinking about applying for Boeing, working on planes, if not, maybe cars. But my degree is so broad. There's so many opportunities that I haven't looked at, and I probably should.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try to stick out with basketball as much as I can, maybe play overseas.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, so I don't know, wherever the wind takes me right now, I'm just trying to be where my feet are and enjoy my last time, living off my parents in SU.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you definitely, basketball is definitely a thing for you because you are really good at it.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
You're at that higher upper echelon to be able to launch from where you're at right now because this is this your last year?
Yeah, this is my last year. Oof. Yeah, I know. I gotta be great this year so I can see what happens for me next year. So, yeah.
What do you do to solidify that? You being great, as you say. Like, do you do anything different to the other girls? Do you push a little bit harder in other ways?
No, I think every single one of those girls works as hard as me, if not harder. I totally think so. To me, basketball is a mental game, and I think I don't want to sound like that. It's not that physically I don't need to get better. It's just mentally my whole life. I've just been trying to battle with, having confidence
Yeah.
and being borderline a little cocky, at the same time humble, knowing
Yeah.
that you can get better,
Yeah.
but at the same time knowing the person in front of you can't stop you. And I think I've battled with that. I mean, some days I'm like, anyone can stop me, and some days I'm like, no one can stop me. I mean, I think that's just the whole thing. That's life and that's sports. That as I get older, I start to realize, that's 90% of, everything. Not everything's physical. I do a lot of praying. I try to meditate, try to be where I'm at in the moment, feel my nervousness, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think there's anything that I do differently besides separate myself mentally from everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's as well as working out as your hardest and all that sort of stuff. There is a time where you do need to download for yourself to be able to do the meditation and things.
I think being a student athlete, people forget that it's not always about getting extra reps, eating healthy. It is important, but your mental health is so important,
huge.
and I don't think people stress it enough. And they tend to forget their mental health and can't figure out why they're not performing, why they're not doing well in school. And sometimes me time is okay, and it might feel like you're slacking or you're behind, but I mean, 5 years in college, I've learned that sometimes you're just gonna have to take an L on an assignment. Sometimes you're just gonna have to separate from everyone else and, take your time, and that's okay.
Yeah. How many credits are you doing this semester, or how many did you average, I suppose?
I averaged a lot at one point. I didn't switch to engineering until I was a sophomore.
Oh, wow.
So I had to pack on the credits. I would say I averaged around between 15 or so. And that's a lot because sometimes, like last year, I had physics and calculus at the same time. I had a chemistry,
Physics and
biology.
calculus.
Yeah, I had
Ouch.
the labs, and then it was hard because I was traveling for basketball, so I wasn't
Yeah.
going to make it all the time. Somehow balanced that, but now I'm at 10 credits. So it's a big drop off for me because I'm like,
Nice.
oh, now I don't have a lot of homework and stuff. So it's another mental battle because I'm like, okay, there's not a lot to do. You don't have to freak out. Don't have to stress out. Just relax.
Enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. I like that.
Yeah.
You can help people now.
Right. Now I can help other people. Yeah.
Now so talking about that, with 15 credits and going through and you guys have a standard to be a player, right?
Yeah.
So you have to get a certain mark.
Right.
What is that?
Oh, that's a great question. I actually just went over this. It depends on your major. With mine, you have to be just on track to get graduate.
Okay.
Maybe with like a general major, maybe you need 10 to 15. It varies. That's why I'm so grateful for our sports advisors because I would have no clue how to make my classes if it were up to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all have a standard of having certain type of grades. Otherwise, we won't be able to play or we'll be in study hall.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get out of study hall just because with engineering, it was hard to get past a couple classes. But, there's some girls who, like Alexa Lord last year, she was studying to be a doctor and she had a 4.0 the whole entire year. So,
Wow.
Yeah, there's some girls who, they're just built for this.
That's a shout out right there.
Yeah. I don't know how she did it, but
Yeah.
props to her.
No, that's really cool. Yeah. I know a couple of sports figures around here, and I've been chit-chatting with them in I think the spring semester. I had this one guy, Jerome. He was in the golfing side of things, and he said, I don't care about school or I care about his golf. And now he's not here. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's kind of a bummer because he was a really cool dude.
Yeah.
He's kind of funny, a little janky, but he meant well. So I don't know what happened with him, but I know he did slack off a little bit, and I think that was the difference.
Yeah, the balance is so hard. It's hard to find a balance. It just got to find what your purpose is and what matters to you the most. And if it's school, then basketball's a side quest, and if it's basketball, then school's not necessarily a side quest, but it's something you have to get done.
It's necessary.
Sure. Yeah, it's necessary.
Very necessary. No, that's cool. So then going into you guys, you're under 50 days to go now, right? Before you guys kick off the season. How's the season looking for you guys, do you think? And you've seen the team rise and fall a couple of times. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was here when we won the WAC championship. I was also here when we were second to last. So,
That's amazing.
No shade against last year. It was a learning year. A lot of injuries. I mean, some of us were playing 40 minutes. It was new. Ava was new. So this year, though, we have a lot of newcomers. I'm really excited for people to see. We have 2 grad transfers, and the freshmen we have coming in are very promising. So even when we leave SCU, I think the basketball team is going to be really good. But I think it's going to be a good year.
Nice.
He's doing really well.
I'll just jump back for a second, and I know it sounds kind of crazy. As far as you and a career goes, right? And continue with the basketball for sure, 100%. You talk very easy. Have you ever thought about doing sales with engineering?
Yeah, I actually over the summer I was looking for engineering jobs or internships. I had trouble getting them because my schedule for basketball.
Yeah,
as soon as I told them the schedule, they're like, "Oh, I don't know." But I was looking at being a sales engineering sales tech at IPS down the road, and they were like, "We love that you're on the basketball team." I mean, like, I feel like that gives me a lot of credentials because I'm like, I've talked to tons of people, I've traveled, I've played with different people. But yeah, I've also thought about that. People always tell me I should get a podcast.
Oh man, that'd be cool. What would you talk about?
I have no idea. Probably nothing I can say on air. So, yeah, they're probably best that I don't get a podcast. I think it's funny that you say I talk well because I chose engineering so I didn't have to talk to a ton of people.
Yeah, that's funny. And then most engineers do.
Yeah, I like working alone. I don't like working in groups. Not because I don't like hearing other people's ideas. I just work at a certain pace, and I feel like I'm pretty rational, and I like planning things out. I like planning things out and following through with them. And when they don't follow through, I'm like all over the place. Yeah. So I love that you say that about me.
Structure.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, I just seen so many people in sales, man. They make some money.
Oh, I have. You know what I mean? I've heard about it. Yeah, I've definitely heard about it.
And you get to travel the world with it too.
You do. You definitely have to have a what's the word? A large social battery.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a big social battery, but when I'm going, I can go. But once it's done, it's done.
It's done. Yeah. No, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Like I really do. I mean, I'm here. I'm doing this. This is fun, and I'm enjoying it. But there is times where I don't want to see anyone. Like when weekends come and I've just got some homework and I've got little boys and I just want to be at home. That's all I do is be at home.
Right.
So I'm not worried about that one bit. So I do like downtime. I think downtime's very important to have.
I agree.
Yeah, you should do it, but maybe you could do a podcast. I won't shit on you. You could do a podcast wrapped around, or not even that. Just maybe do teaching people how to do AutoCAD.
Oh yeah, I actually AutoCAD is probably the one of all softwares that I do not like.
Oh really?
I do not like AutoCAD.
Well then,
I struggle with it. But SolidWorks, I love SolidWorks.
Done.
Mastercam.
Yeah, I'm always Googling those sort of things because I'm curious about it. I would like to do some other production stuff.
Yeah.
And I also write as well, but I would love to learn a program so I could do 3D printing of some characters.
You'd be surprised how beneficial it is to know softwares, even if you're not an engineer. Like, if you have an idea, it's really cool to be able to see it in 3D online, see you build it, dimension it, and all that stuff.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we should keep in touch.
Yeah, let's keep in touch.
Yeah, I like that. Do you have anything else you would like to put out there? Anyone you want to shout out? Dad, you got to get to a game.
Shout out, probably my dad again. I want him to come to my games.
Yeah, Dad.
He needs to come out for sure. But I just appreciate you having me here.
Yeah, no, it's been totally fun.
Yeah.
One last question. What makes the difference?
Makes the difference in...
Anything that comes to mind. It's a deep one. I mean, it could be anything. Don't dig too deep. Just first thing that comes to mind. What makes a difference? It could be life, could be games, could be friendships.
Probably love.
Yeah.
I feel like, for me, I just feel like you should lead with love all the time. I feel like my thing is I always tell my friends, or my girlfriend, I always tell her, I'm just like, everybody you meet, you should love them at first until they prove you different or prove you wrong or turn you the other way. I'm not big on forgiveness. I'm working on it, but I definitely do love people as soon as I meet them, and maybe not in the love sense of, you know, I love you so much, but love as in
respect.
I want to make you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to come to me. I want you to trust me. I trust everybody until they show me different, and I think everyone should live like that because what goes around comes around, and the love will come back to you, and that's been happening for me. So
no, it's amazing. And it's such a hard thing to do. We judge so fast when we meet people, and it's like, and sometimes our brains just don't get along with other brains.
They just don't.
You know
but
what I
if
mean?
you lead with love, I think everything will be okay.
At the bare minimum, show love with respect.
Show love with respect. Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We're gonna go to a song, and then we'll end up this online. So we just hold 2 seconds. We're off the air now, so we can take these off. How was that for you?
That was awesome.
Yeah?
That was actually really cool.
I
It was
like
hard
it.
to kind of talk and hear myself at the same time. I was like,
You get confused a little bit. That's why I kept turning it down. I could see you were like, oh, I was like,
yeah,
oh,
I
it
was,
sucks.
I was like not being able to hear myself but talk at the same time. Yeah, that was difficult.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming in.
No, thank you for having me. That's super cool that you get to do that every day.
Every Friday. I mean, I
Friday,
put a lot into this. It takes time.
Oh, yeah.
You know? But
That's awesome.
yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate
Seriously,
you.
I appreciate that.